Life cannot exist without proteins, but proteins require DNA to be formed because proteins are chains of specifically sequenced amino acids. They need DNA to put them in that sequence. To have life, you need DNA. A protein can't form without it. But DNA by itself is useless without already existing proteins. DNA can't even copy itself without already existing proteins. So if you begin with DNA, you could never get to proteins or life. And you could never start with proteins, which are devoid of DNA, because proteins can only be formed from the instructions of DNA. That proves that both had to be present from the beginning of life. One couldn't have started without the other. They must have simultaneously been created together. Even Charles Darwin admitted,
if it could not be demonstrated that any complex organ structure existed, which could not possibly have been formed by numerous successive slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down.
And we now know without any doubt that such structures exist. The eyes are the doorway to the soul, but atheists really don't like that word soul. So let's use the eyes to close the doorway to evolution. The eye. Suppose that before animals had sight, one species decided it'd be great to be able to decrypt light rays. So, what did they evolve first? The retina? The iris? The eye is made up of many tiny parts, each totally useless without the others. The probability that a genetic mutation that would create each of these at the same time in the same organism is zero. If, however, one organism evolved just the retina, then the logic of Darwin suggests that the only solution is to rid yourself of useless traits by replacing them with beneficial ones. So the idea of the eye evolving one segment at a time is just bogus. Atheist Richard Dawkins tried to explain it, saying that one-celled protozoa have a light-sensitive spot with a pigment screen behind it, and some multi-celled organisms have the same thing with cup-shaped cells. Then there's the mollusk, which has a pinhole eye with no lens, and the squid eye, which incorporates the lenses. But these types of eye involve different types of structures, rather than a series of similar structures becoming improved, step by step by step by step. And to top it off, they're not even thought to have evolved from each other. Besides, even the first step, a light-sensitive spot, is considered irreducibly complex. A light-sensitive spot can only detect some shadows, but it requires a multitude of interrelated complex chemical reactions to work. It's far too complex. So, sorry Richard, but ba-bow. So, now we're taking the eyes out of evolution. Let's keep stumbling down it blindly back to the path of Darwinism. The path kind of kicks off all the way back in 1859 with Charles Darwin.
In 1859, Charles Darwin published the first widely accepted theory of evolution, the origin of species.
And the outcry was almost immediate. Not from the church, but from geologists. What was the problem? Well, the fossil record back then, and still today, was and is nearly totally void of transitional species. If species are continually mutating and never constant, why do we continually find several of the same certain prehistoric creatures, but never any that appear to be in transition? By rights, there should be billions of them everywhere, littering the whole planet. But they're just not there. Why do paleontologists find a lot of dinosaurs, but never where the dinosaurs come from, nor what they turned into? With all the lack of evidence for transitional species, one of two things must be true. Either, 1, all transitional species never died and somehow mysteriously left this planet, or 2, evolution's idea of transitional species does not exist. In Darwin's own words,
why, if species have descended by insensibly fine gradations, do we not everywhere see innumerable transitional forms? Why is not all nature in confusion, instead of species being, as we see them, well defined?
It's an excellent question, which he answers himself.
I can give no satisfactory answer.
So why do we believe in evolution?
I can give no satisfactory answer.
So why teach it to our kids?
I can give no satisfactory answer.
That doesn't matter, Darwin. Let's not talk about that. Even though you found a gaping hole in your own theory, let's pretend you didn't.
But no,
Darwin, shut up about it. Let's just pretend you didn't. Look, what we'll do is we'll call it a theory, okay? But we'll teach it in every school in the world from now on as a sound-proven fact.